Hello, everybody on YouTube. It's your boy, the Memphis XL. Alright, welcoming you to our biannual Q&A section. That's right. Little something I like to do twice a year about, where I have a Q&A, both at the end of our first series of the year and at the end of the year. Something for, old subs or new members of the community and old, just to come together and ask me any questions they have about life in general or the channel, whatever people think of, that sort of thing. So, that's what we got today. We're going to be reading through some questions. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We got a bunch of questions. 5 different people asking them. So, a lot of questions. Big shout out to everybody. Thank you very much for submitting some questions for us to enjoy today. And we're just going to read through everything. I'm going to keep it simple. I was going to bring the whole crew together for this, but I'm just going to do it myself this year. We'll do a whole group thing at the end of the year. Make something special there to look forward to. So, for our first question of the day, we got our boy, JRPG King, who asked me, let's see, okay, this question is towards the faith. Since you believe in God, there's ever been a point in your life you second-guessed God or doubt his existence? The reason I ask is a lot of people have been going homeless, people starving, children. Yeah, world's looking pretty bad. If there's a God, how come he doesn't fix all these issues in the world and give comfort to those that are dealing with pain and suffering? I'm pretty sure like 95+ percent of people who believe in God have doubted him at some point. Yeah, certainly. I lost my own father a few years ago. And yeah, of course there was a moment I doubted. Why wouldn't you? When you're at that sort of low point, why would you not? But it's just like, how do I say this? God does work in very mysterious ways. It is very strange, having a father right there, and you don't see or hear from him too often. You really don't. Not anymore. Not since the biblical times. You don't really see or hear from him too much. But it's kind of a thing where that's how you value when you do hear him in like tiny ways. Because if you think about it this way, if God was there constantly for you, like you could just call him up and he'd come and fix all the problems in the world, we wouldn't really value it so much, you know what I mean? Like, if he just came down and fixed all of the world's problems, like, constantly or something, there would be no problems ever. There'd be nothing to look forward to. There'd be nothing to work towards. There'd be nothing to strive for. There'd be just, like, we'd be just having a crutch. Turning God into a crutch is a terrible, terrible thought. God, it's true, he's a bit of a tough love, and he likes the tough love. Definitely. Definitely. And he just wants us to be tough and to be loved and to love each other. You know what I mean? It's not easy. Absolutely. Life is, babies are not delivered by storks. 100%. But, that's why we just gotta be better to each other, and then life will get just a little bit more if people were more tolerant of each other, it'd be a lot better. It's really hard time. It really is. It really is. Not everybody's on board with that idea of being good to each other, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be nice if God would at least call every once in a while. I'm sure that the service up in heaven must be terrible. It must be like the worst phone service in all of creation. It would be nice if he called every once in a while just to say hi, how's it going? Just a few words every once in a while would be cool, but to have him constantly there and constantly fixing everything would just devalue the whole concept of the divine, and we wouldn't value it but we would just take it for granted, you know what I mean? Better if humans take care of each other in the same way God, we wish he would take care of us, you know what I mean? So that's my take on it. I know it's not the best way of putting it. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a big wordsmith, but that's my 2 cents on the matter. Next up, we got our boy Soda Drinker Pro, who asks, when did you first start playing Yu-Gi-Oh? I feel like I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again for the new folks. So, I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Very, 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 very casually. Back when it first started in America, this was roughly around 2002, roughly about. I remember my first pack was Japanese Metal Raiders, so I know that was available at the time. And I basically just started, playground Yu-Gi-Oh! I had friends that I would play Yu-Gi-Oh! With. I would collect the cards. I had a Karibo card, of course. That's what I had. And yeah, it just it stayed as just like completely a hobby for many, many years. I remember at one point I was like, oh, there's like these tournaments you can go to, and I'm like, okay, me and my buddies can go to those, and that's where I first experienced like modern Yu-Gi-Oh and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, which is so great. Those guys were so. It was a new experience. Let's put it that way. It was a very much a new experience. So, yes, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time. I've been playing this game for longer than most people would think that I'd be playing it. But yeah, I've been in this game for a long time. I remember we used to buy structure decks at 7-Eleven for like $5. If it was even that much, I don't remember how much it was back then, but it was not that much back in the day. I still have my old Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician from those too. It's like it's crazy to think how old this game has got. We're like 25 plus years into this game. I'm so old. All right, next we have a bevy of questions from my buddy Exile, who asks a bunch of things, different questions about the channel. What kind of channel growth are you hoping for this year? Please, can we get to 1,000 subs already? I just checked, we're at like 13 people away. I've been clawing and screaming at the algorithm for years. I don't chase after the trends. It's not what I do. I've always treated YouTube as more of a hobby. At the same time, I mean, I'm blessed, truly, to have as many people as I have. And when I see more than one person join at a time, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. But this year, I want to hit 1,000. Okay, if I don't hit 1,000 by the end of the year, I'll have to seriously question about, like, just quitting at that point. If I can't get 13 people in a year, that's just ridiculous. After Cabin Fever, what's the channel's next big project? Bunch of things. So in March, I really want to do a month of Cabin, I like Cabin Fever. It's called Month of Madness. You know, kind of like March Madness, that sort of thing. So it's basically gonna be like Cabin Fever, but instead of having other people donate decks, I will pick them all myself. You know, just to mix it up just a little bit. We're also gonna have all the Alter Memphis, you know, the Alter and Spooky and maybe Crazy and Evil, because they haven't done anything on this channel in so long, and I want to bring them back into the spotlight. We'll see, but I want to bring all them into it as well, so we'll have a mix of different hosts and things of that nature. I'm definitely going to have some little projects here and there. We're going to finally have the rematch duel between Alter Memphis and Crazy Memphis. That's a big one. I'd like to do some little lore videos here and there about the channel, things of that nature. Lots of streams. Lots of streams. Lot of things. I have so many indie games to play off the Steam, and yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But a lot of things I want to get done. I am going full-time at work, though, so it's going to be tricky. But luckily, I can get by with very little sleep, as it should be noted. Would you ever consider branching out and covering other card games? Funnily enough, I think I actually asked this last time, but yes, actually, I would be fine with trying Magic the Gathering. I need to figure out what the duel simulator is for that. But I also have this other game I found on Steam. It's called, hold on, let me look it really quick. It's called Mormons, which I'm pretty sure, if I read it right, is a card game. Yes, it is a card game, and it's like based on Eldritch Horror and things, so I definitely want to make a video or two on that one. So, yeah, I'm definitely up for trying other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. It's just going to be a whiplashy sort of thing. Like, I'm going to go play Magic the Gathering, I'm going to be like, I activate Pot of Greed! And people will be like, dude, that's the Black Lotus card. Also, you don't even know how to play that card. And I'm like, yes, I do! Attack mode, Black Lotus. Something like that. So, I would totally be up for that. I just gotta, like, figure out, like, which simulator to use to best do it. Seems like with this channel is primarily Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, a Pokemon TCG would be the natural fit just to combine the two. Yeah. That would also be actually fun. I've tried the Pokemon TCG before. Didn't get it at all, but I would, again, if I can find the right Sims for these things, I gotta do some research on that, but I would totally play Pokemon TCG. Probably get my butt handed to me by 2-year-olds, because they, like, live off the stuff, but, you know, why not? Did you ever consider streaming old Yu-Gi-Oh! Games like Duelist of the Roses? Funnily enough, I do remember that Steam released that awful collection of old Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. I need to double check what's on there. I'm pretty sure, like, Sacred Cards and stuff was on there, and I'd love to play that, because I loved playing Sacred Cards back when I was a kid. And if Roses is on there, too, which I don't know if it is, but if it is, I would love to play that, too. Otherwise, I had to figure out, like, a PlayStation emulator, something like that. So, again, something to research onto, but I would absolutely love to stream Duelist of the Roses. I'm not great at the game, but I would certainly try it. Would you consider a Soul Link Nuzlocke or X game with multiple people? Now, I did try the Soul Link with Necro. I would love to do another one, but the thing is, my boy Necro, he tries, but he also gives up just about as easily. So, yeah, that was one of the reasons why the last Soul Link just kind of fell apart near the end. It's like, Necro just wanted to quit for the longest time. Also, I was getting ready for the final season of 100 Days Yu-Gi-Oh!, so there's a lot of pressure on there. So, I would love to do another Soul Link, or X game, or a randomizer or something like that with some number of people. I just gotta find the right people, It doesn't really matter who. I will take anyone, damn it. But I would totally do that. I would do a Soul Link, a rival lock, a whatever lock. It don't matter to me. I just like to play games with people, okay? It's fun. Favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, favorite character, or least favorite character? Alright. I don't really have a least favorite character. Oh, wait, no. Jaden is my least favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Character. Because he won so many games that he had no right to win. Total plot armor, that guy. Favorite anime, I would probably say 5Ds. It was very bombastic. I liked the characters. I liked the action. I liked the different dueling, shenanigans that happened up in there. I would say probably be 5Ds. Nothing wrong with the original Duel Monsters or anything, or probably not, actually no, probably not Zexal. Arc 5 was okay. Brains was forgettable. Yeah, I'd say 5Ds is my favorite anime. Favorite character overall? I always liked Belowski. He was funny. And Jack was always kind of neat with, he started off like this super serious dude, then you find out he's kind of a dork. So, yeah, I could probably go with Jack Atlas is one of my favorite characters. He's just very, very cool, but also kind of dorky. Kind of like me. Is the Harpy archetype finished? Completely obsolete? Irredeemable? I don't think so. We do need to look at Harpies. 100% have to look at Harpies. Yes, the loss of Harpy's Featherstorm is a huge blow to the deck, only in the sense that it makes it harder for Harpies to deal with, big board setup decks, or, it hurts Harpies going first trying to stop combo decks, that sort of thing. So, we just gotta put our heads together, bash some coconuts together, as you might say, and try to find something that will combine with Harpies to help bring out more of what they want to do, which is just a lot of summon out the Harpies and then go for synchros and exceeds and things of that nature. So, I don't think they're irredeemable, certainly. Are they completely obsolete? Maybe getting there, but that's mostly other archetypes just being way too crazy. But are they finished? I don't think so, no. If you could name the single biggest problem with modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, what would it be and how would you fix it? Okay, so there's a lot of problems with modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! The ban list is kind of iffy at times. There's way too many combos. I know we'd love to combo Wombo, but at the same time, there's... Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks are like, every other card is a one-card combo. Every other combo leads into X number of Omni Negations, X number of Floodgates, X number of you can't target, destroy, interact with your opponent's board. So there's a lot of that, but I'd say, honestly, the biggest issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! In general is the player base. Because the player base has this mindset of, I have to win no matter what. And I need to make sure my opponent cannot do stuff. Okay? It's not a healthy thing. There's nothing wrong with having interaction with your opponent on their turn. Having the ability to, interrupt them in some way so that you can, have a win. But when your entire focus is about stopping the opponent from winning, it's not a very healthy thing. It's not a very healthy thing at all. It's okay to troll people. That's an occasional thing. But when you spend 95% plus of your gaming experience trying to prevent your opponent from playing at all, or it's less about you winning and more about your opponent losing. That's the problem. So, how do I fix that? Just people need to chill a little bit. It's a card game made for 6-year-olds. You look at the back of the packs. 6+. Okay? This is literally a children's card game. You're not impressing anybody by spending 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, setting up 15 negates or whatever. You're not impressing anyone with your hand trap bevy of hand traps or all that nonsense. Just play the game, Have a nice couple rounds of it, and then, That's all you need, you know? So, I don't know how you fix that, but yeah, just chill, babe. Would you consider doing a tier list for all your alter egos? I do need to do some tier. I need to do the tier list on my hats. That's a definite thing. On the like alter and spooky in them. Oh lord, I get in so much trouble for that one. I think I'll be fine with that. I gotta write down like the list of all the other alters egos that have not actually showed up on the channel. Have only been mentioned before. Because, you know, it's a big one. We got Alter Memphis, Spooky Memphis, Sir Memphis. We got Evil Memphis, Crazy Memphis. And there's all the people we haven't met before. There's Pirate Memphis, Ninja Memphis. There's Lone Memphis. There's the ever so obnoxious Fabulous Memphis. Actually, that's most of them. There's other named Memphises, I'm sure, but I have to remember them all. But yeah, why not? Why not? Why not shoot myself in the foot so that my roommates destroy me? Sure, why not? Last question for Mr. X. Who would win between Dark Magician Girl and Anjuamon in a battle to win the heart of Memphis? Anjuamon, 100%. Dark Magician Girl is not only a thought, but she is also, I'm pretty sure, a teenager. I'm fairly certain if we go off the anime logic, she's like 15 or something. So, I don't know, do I want girl or do I want woman? Memphis likes women, not girls. Women. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Alright, now on to our boy Levi's Stories, who has a few questions here. What makes life worth living to you? That's a very serious question there. What makes life worth it to Memphis? What makes life worth it to me? I would say it's probably the little things, you know? It's family and friends. It's just, get up and get it done, you know? That's just what I kind of live by, in a way, you know? You just kind of get up and you do something and just kind of keep on going, you know? It's like, but what makes it worth it? That's the real question. What makes life worth it in the end of the day? Bettering the lives of other people in little ways. Not in huge ways. I don't need to turn their toilets into gold or, I don't know, solve world hunger. Although I would if I could. It's about just going out there, living your life, and when you interact with other people in any way, make their life just a little bit better. Give them a nice hearty hello. How are you? I hope your day is going well. That sort of thing. That's definitely something that makes life worth it to me. You know, seeing people's faces light up when they realize somebody gives a fuck about their lives. If even in a little way. You know what I mean? I think that's good. What's your beef with Wadapon? Fuck him. That's what. What do you thank your parents for doing that you didn't like at the time? Teaching me the value of tough love. There is no other version of love I understand. What's your favorite conspiracy theory? Probably, honestly, basic. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to that. I would say I'm a fan of just aliens existing. Like, what are the odds that they don't? Now, do I believe everything that happens on Ancient Aliens? No. I think some of the things they say are absolutely insane. Like, aliens are responsible for every smart person who ever lived. Like, stuff of that nature. But do I believe that aliens exist and probably came to Earth at some point and then they left for probably good reasons? Sure. That sounds perfectly logical to me. Now, have I ever seen an alien? No. Would I be fine with meeting an alien? Depends on if some of the stories are true. If aliens actually abduct people and steal their babies, I would probably do my best to punch an alien, to be honest. Probably would. Even though they don't have noses, I would attempt to break them either way, if that was the case. But if aliens were peaceful enough, I'd be like, how's it going? Nice to meet someone with a different face. What thoughts keep you up at night? Horrible, unspeakable things that I won't mention here. Mostly childhood trauma. Do you eat the fish you catch? No, I'm a strictly catch and release side of person. I don't, you know, if I was, here's the thing. Eating the fish that you catch is perfectly acceptable if they're big enough, as well as if you're, like, needing food. Like, if I needed food, I would eat the fish I catch. But do I need to eat the fish? No, I don't. I'm perfectly capable of going to the store and buying food. Okay? If I was out in the wilderness and need to eat the fish, absolutely 100% eat the fish. But if I'm just going on vacation, I'm not going to eat the fish. No. The fish, they're just there to help make the vacation better. They're living creatures aside. So it's like, I'm not... I don't need to eat something unless I really have to. Let's put it that way. It's kind of like the same thing with cows. Okay? Like, cows are adorable. Okay? And yes, I'll eat beef. But at the same time, I'm not going to kill and eat the cow if I don't have to kill and eat the cow. That's kind of somebody else's job, but that's another discussion right there. Once you get through the day, the knowledge that when I get home, my dog will be there, they'll welcome me home with a smile, that I get to come home and chill with my bros, that helps me get through the day. Most of my days aren't that bad. I mean, I know what I've said already, but at the same time, it's not like every day is horrible or anything like that. So, you know, I would say the toughest days is just like, I get to come home, I get to be with the family. That's important. Last question from Levi. Does George ever play with Karibo? He used to. He used to play with my Karibo plush. Unfortunately, George is a bit of a brat, and if he plays with a toy too much, he will stop playing with it. A little unfortunate, 100%. And yeah, it's partly because he started to get a little older. But at the same time, yeah, he used to. And he enjoyed it quite a bit, I assure you. Alright, next, okay, last person to ask a question, of course, is our boy Spicy Boy, who asks, of course, Acquisition Explosion! Can't wait till we do another Pokemon series, we're gonna have to bring that shit back. Okay, so we got, let's see, 2 questions from Spicy. So, first question is a continuation of the biannual thought experiment. Oh boy, with the caveman. Might need some... Let's see, might need some pictures to go with this one. So, your Neanderthal survived an epic three-way fight between a monkey and a wolf, which you have tamed the wolf. You and the doggo survived the night, and now you must get food. Here are the options. Okay. Fish for fishes, low threat level, but not a lot of fish. Using stick and dog, try the cave, which has a moderate threat level because there's a bare 50-50 chance of it's asleep. Medium food. Or using your vast intellect... Oh, yeah, because I like all my memories and smarts and stuff. Travel the nearest large evil tribe of humans. Metal Gear Solid your way through to the food vault hut in the center of town. High threat level. Lots of hostile humans and dogs with sticks. So all the food you can get, and you have a backpack to carry it. Doggo is also very quiet. The choice is yours. Okay, okay, I'm not the stealthiest person in the world, and I would probably less Metal Gear Solid my way through a evil camp. More of like a Borderlands 4 blow up everything sort of guy. Although I could also just try to lure people into traps and stuff. That would definitely be a thing. But if I had to pick one, I would start with the first one. Just to see if I could catch anything, period. I assume if I'm a Neanderthal, I'm like spearfishing. I wouldn't be like throwing out a line. But yeah, well, I would check that first. Then move on to B. And then see how that goes. You know. And assuming that B goes well, you know, build up a store of food. Prepare a plan to do option C. You don't just bum rush into it. So I would start with A, work into B. For the purposes of, I'm assuming, the continuation of the story, I'm going to go... I'm just going to go for C and see what kind of madness happens at the end of the year. I'm going to go with C here. Okay, so... Out of all the Cabin Fever decks requested, where they asked for a theme, strategy, and not a full deck submission, which deck do you think turned out the best? Alright, this is a tricky one, because... There was a lot of decks that we were asked to do, which were crazy decks. At the same time, like, it's hard to pick just one. I got the list all of here. Let's see here. Let's see, the 5th speed work just worked. That did okay. Yummy Ghouls, that did fairly well. We had, oh yeah, we had that one too. Oh my goodness, we had so many. Like, the hero deck did very well. We had the Sophia Turbo, which was excellent, I have to say. Sophia Turbo with the clowns, that was top tier right there. We also had the Hydroland deck that did fairly well. Let's see. One that did really well, which I assumed it would do good, even though everything was like at 1, was 6 Samurai, which, you know, everything was at 1 except for the spell traps and things. But with every monster at 1, we got to do some cool stuff with just every 6 Samurai at 1, especially when I Yaris at that guy. But if I had to pick just one deck that turned out way outpacing anything I could have ever expected from it, would probably be Generation Fish. Now, I know that deck was like a good chunk was Goaty, but we still did like Generation Fish things of like banishing the fishes to do stuff. And that deck did leagues better than I thought it was even possible for Generation Fish to do, considering that's like a whole series of cards that has not gotten supported in over a decade, which in Yu-Gi-Oh terms is like comparing modern day to the Cretaceous period, essentially. So, if I had to pick, yeah, we had a lot of decks that did like way better than expected, but if I had to pick just one deck that did like the best out of all of them in terms of just expectation versus reality, I would say it's Generation Fishes. Close second would be Six Samurais. And Karibo's, I mean, I expected Karibo, of course Karibo's going to do good, but I didn't expect it, you know, multiplying Karibo would be that good. So, alright. That is our Q&A for the year, everybody. Or for this biannual. What am I talking about? We have another one coming at the end of the year, of course. But I hope everybody enjoyed my answers. You know, I tried my best to answer these questions as best as I can. And, yeah, thank you very much to everybody who submitted questions for our Q&A. Thank you very much. It's always appreciated. And so, yeah, soon enough, new content will come. I think we'll look at the Harpies. I think now that we've mentioned Harpies again, we need to... our next duel video has to be Harpies. Absolutely. We gotta figure out what will make Harpies playable still. I'm sure there's something crazy new that we can use to abuse the Harpies. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you very much enjoyed. Don't forget to hit all the good buttons down below. I hope you keep supporting your boy. Because, again, we're trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year. Otherwise, Memphis will disappear forever. Possibly. I can guarantee nothing. So, thanks for watching. I'll be signing out for now. Till next time, stay safe, stay happy. You have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.